Henrik and I got to spend that whole day like together,
Okay.
and hanging out, and that was really fun,
Okay.
and cool. And that was the last time I saw him. This is all kind of hard to talk about, but he had called and said that he was probably not going to be around long. The Atlantic reps were all huddled around Sebastian Bach like flies, and and not so much us. There was a lot of optimism for Turn of the Screw. Previous tours, I felt like Henrik was sort of perpetually unhappy. Henrik was at that point sober.
Okay.
And singing unbelievably. The band folded at the end of '93.
Yep.
We had, Henrik was just like, need to call it a day. At the same time, if we would put out something that was like the first album, that would have been suicide as well. So there was no winning in 1996. Had he been able to stay sober, boy, look out. People were asking, are you putting out new Dirty Look stuff? And it's like, well, you can't, it's not, without Henrik, it's not Dirty Look. So thanks to everybody who has, listened to anything that I've done over the years, and there's lots more to come.
Hey, I am beyond excited to welcome Paul Lidel to the show. Paul has been playing in Dangerous Toys for over 30 years. He's put out great albums from projects like Adrenaline Factor and Broken Teeth. He's the guitar player in one of my favorite bands of all time, the mighty Dirty Looks. And he just released the brand new album, Are You Ready?, from his new project, Paul Lidel's Scream Therapy. With that, Paul Lidel, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me on, Anthony. Really appreciate it.
I want to get into what's going on with Dangerous Toys and everything, but tell me about this new album, Are You Ready? It's the follow-up. You already put out 2 albums since 2023. And the new single, We Got Rock and Roll, has been out for a couple weeks. And I just want to say, I love this song. This is what I want from new music.
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's a fun song, and it's the first single off the album. We do have another single coming out October 1st.
Okay.
And that will be the title track from the album, Are You Ready? And that will be along with a video. We'll have a video for that also coming out on October 1st. So we can't wait for that. And as you said, it's the second album by Scream Therapy. And so we're super excited about the album. And
out on Perris Records, right?
On Perris Records, yeah. And there you go. You got it.
Got my Perris shirt. I'll be ordering the CD. I'm all about physical product. Is it available now? Because when I went to the website, I thought it said October 17th, but are they already shipping the CDs now?
Well, there's a certain amount of pre-orders.
Yep. Okay.
That have been allowed, and those are also like signed CDs.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of thing. And then the official release date online is going to be like October 17th.
Okay.
Like you can get it on Amazon.com. You can go to screamtherapyband.com to order the CD, and also PerrisRecords.com.
And I'm gonna I'll have the links for all that in the description. I'm a big supporter of Tom Mathers and Perris Records. When this music was kind of on its way out, Tom was always somebody who was like, no, we're gonna keep it alive. So I love what he's doing, and so I highly encourage people to go check out Are You Ready? From Perris Records. And the fact that you're still out there putting new music out is just fantastic. So I'm excited.
Well, thank you. I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm really excited.
You look younger now than you did back in the day. Like, what the hell? I'm not even shitting you. I've been watching all these interviews. I'm like, are you aging in reverse or something? Because it's bullshit. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So okay. So I'm. Everybody needs to check this out. And I think you're opening for Warrant here on October 11th.
That's right. Yeah, that's going to be one we're really looking forward to. It's at the Hotspot Event Center,
Okay.
and we've played there before, opening for LA Guns,
Okay.
and that was incredible. And so,
Do you have a lot of shows coming up over the rest of the year and into the beginning of 2026 to promote?
yeah, we're in the process of lining up a whole bunch of shows.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to get the word out. We have intentions of, getting out of Texas and getting to the East Coast. I've been talking to a lot of people on the East Coast and talking about setting stuff up. So that's all brewing as well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's
So we're working on getting the word out, and
well, and I would, like I was telling you before I hit record, I host a show Saturday nights on Rock 101 KLOL. I'm definitely going to be playing Scream Therapy because people need to hear this album. Anyway,
I appreciate that. Yeah,
absolutely. You started as a drummer, right?
I did start as a drummer.
Okay, so tell me about how you got into all this.
Yeah, age 9. I started playing drums. In like the little school band orchestra thing first, and then in multiple bands of different styles.
Yeah.
I was in a jazz band as a drummer, like a working jazz band, and then various different types of bands.
Yeah.
And I would learn from the guitar players because I was also a guitar geek.
Yeah.
Starting at about age 10.
Okay.
Where I would just, it was like I considered drums to be my profession.
Yep.
If you could have one, at age 10. But I considered guitar to be like just this fun thing to do that I enjoyed doing for like hours a day. And so I would have the guitar teachers in my different bands show me how to play. Okay. And like, wow, how'd you do that? Oh, you go like this, And and then I was playing guitar all the time, and eventually it got to the point where it was sort of taking over the drums.
Okay.
And I injured my ankle, which prevented me from taking my drums back from the rehearsal place back to my house.
Skydiving accident, right?
It was a skydiving accident, yeah.
I heard about
that. And so at that point, I started playing guitar more and more, and then there was a band that I wanted to audition for, but I didn't have a proper amplifier.
Okay.
And visiting a friend's house one day, he was showing me his new amp that he got that I was playing through. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. And he said, well, I'll trade you for your drum set.
Okay.
And without missing a beat, I said, yeah, let's do that. And the drums went away.
Okay. Where are you from? Like, where did you grow up?
Rochester, New York.
Okay.
Yeah, home of the House of Guitars.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows. I assume everybody knows about the House of Guitars, but they were. It's the largest music store in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a mainstay in Rochester, and they were instrumental in helping Dirty Looks get signed to Atlantic.
Okay.
So I am always forever in debt of all the people at House of Guitars, Armin Sharbrock particularly.
That's awesome. Were your parents pretty supportive of the direction you were taking?
Yeah, more so with the drums.
Okay.
Yeah, the guitar was hard for them to, understand and all that, but yeah, definitely with the drums and piano,
Okay.
which I've also played since I was like a little kid,
Okay. Okay.
and have played in a bunch of bands as a piano player too.
So were there any bands before Dirty Looks that are of note that did anything before you joined Dirty Looks?
Well, yeah, there was Oasis,
Okay.
not that Oasis.
Right. Right.
There was,
Yeah.
there was Pantera, not that Pantera,
Okay.
and a hundred million other bands.
Okay. Sure.
But yeah, as far as getting onto the more national scene,
Yeah.
Dirty Looks was the first one. So and I was 22 when I first went on the road.
So how do you hear about Dirty Looks? How do you end up joining that band?
Oh man, it's well, I'll summarize the story because it's long, but local band Harpo, idolized them, idolized their guitar player, wanted to get together and jam with their guitar player so I could pick his brain.
Yeah.
So I invited the band over to my house for an after-hours party. And while me and the guitar player were jamming and I was picking his brain, their guitar tech, who was soon to be Dirty Looks guitar tech and my guitar tech for years to come, his name is Matt Carbera, who I didn't know, was standing there watching us.
Okay.
And when we finished, he said, this band Dirty Looks, who I had heard of because the bass player of Harpo had a year before left Harpo to join Dirty Looks.
Jack Pyers.
Yeah, Jack Pyers. And so in my mind, I was like, if Jack Pyers is in it, then I'm absolutely interested, regardless of what it is.
Okay.
For sure, worth driving to Pennsylvania to check out.
Yeah.
And then I heard their, jammed with them, heard their music, and just fell in love with the thing. And I came home telling everybody that I got a gig with this band that sounds like Accept.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they sounded like Accept.
Yeah.
Which I was real excited about,
Yeah.
And later on, everybody said AC/DC, but I always
Yeah.
thought, I don't think they
So
sounded.
they had put out
Accept.
In Your Face, or they had
In Your
two
Face
albums, I
album.
think. It's
Yeah.
like independent, self-titled album, and then In Your Face. And then you join after In Your Face has been put out. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then we showcased for a whole bunch of different labels, and ended up signing with Atlantic Records. And their original intention was to re-release In Your Face, because I thought that was just a fantastic thing, as I did.
Yeah.
And then we sent them new demos, and they said, "Oh, hold the phone. We love these new songs, so we're going to bring in Max Norman, producer of Ozzy and everybody, and do what ended up being Cool from the Wire."
How did you guys like was it, did you play shows for a year before interest happened? Was there label interest already when you had joined? How did Atlantic come into the picture?
No, we were slogging it out for $5 a day, driving around in my Chevette or riding in the equipment truck,
Right.
up and down the East Coast.
Okay.
We were the hardest working band I knew of.
Yeah.
And a real strong live show.
Yeah.
And so we would roll into a place for the first time and play for, 20 people or whatever. And then we would come back and play for, 100 people. And usually by the third time it sold out.
Yeah.
But we we did that up and down, the Carolinas, through Maryland,
Yeah.
all through Pennsylvania, into New Jersey, I think, and like all that area, and like just dirt poor,
Yeah.
and
Was there a moment where you like realized like shit, something's happening here, like a show, or maybe when you start seeing some label interest, or when did you go, man, it's gonna happen for this band?
oh gosh, not until well after we started doing showcases.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
I mean, you know, yeah, it was just like, a little club band
Yeah.
for quite some lot of shows,
Yeah.
just
Sure.
so and there's videos on YouTube of some of the early shows, and
I know I've watched them. Yeah.
yeah, with Jack in the middle instead of on the side, and Henrik was over on the side, and so
Yeah.
uh yeah, so not until then, I
Okay.
would say. And
I'm sorry. Go
and
ahead.
even then, you're like, you hope and wish that something might happen,
Yeah.
but at the whole time, it also seems extremely surreal.
Sure.
When you're inside of it, not on the outside looking in. When you're inside looking out, it has a surreal thing to it, like seeing the name Dirty Looks on an Atlantic vinyl record, with the Atlantic logo there, things like that are just like things that stick in your brain where you go, oh wow, that was an amazing moment.
When did Atlantic come into the picture, and when do you remember signing that record deal? What was that like?
We showcased in Rochester, New York, in my hometown of Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a club called the Penny Arcade. The band that had the date where the A&R guy said, I can be there on this date.
Yeah.
So the band that had the date wouldn't let it go. And so we ended up opening for them.
Okay.
Our equipment truck broke down a couple 100 miles outside of town, so we had to use their PA system, which consisted of a couple speakers on a stick.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so, one of those, anything that could go wrong did go wrong, kind of situations. And the A&R guy, his name was Frankie LaRocca. And
I know that name.
yeah, he has been around for, he's a name in the industry,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Not to mention played drums on Runaway by Bon Jovi.
Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe that's all right.
And then, he was drummer for Scandal and all this other stuff, but he was also worked for Atlantic Records as an A&R guy, and it was no trouble picking him out of the crowd at all. He was like this cool New York looking guy with the black sunglasses on, and there was no question as to who he was.
Right. Right.
But he loved the band, and so we ended up signing with Atlantic, and
Okay.
and then then we just started touring. I left Rochester, and then we had a band house in Pennsylvania for about a month.
Okay.
And then I didn't really live in any place for any period of time again for the next 10 years.
Okay. So
And
you
for
go
a
into
lot of
record.
times-
Oh, I'm
a
sorry.
lot
go
of
ahead.
times, a lot of times when we'd be on the road, I wouldn't have a residence.
Okay. I'm sure.
Well,
I mean, you're probably living out of a suitcase or a duffel bag.
Well, yeah, on tour. So if you're going on tour, especially if you're not making a bunch of money, it doesn't make sense to be paying for, any kind of apartment or anything like that. So, so people would ask me, well, where do you live? I'm like, right here.
All right.
And yeah, so that was the existence for quite some time, which I loved.
Yeah, sure. Tell me about recording Cool from the Wire. Max Norman, who did the first couple Ozzy albums, he ended up doing Dangerous Toys. What is it like recording that first major label debut?
Oh man, so Max is like this super hardworking guy. He's like, yeah, it's amazing how hard he can work, and then he parties just as hard.
Right.
Man, it's real fun going out with him. But so he was really super nice to me, and I had to try to get over the just the idea that I was standing next to and laying tracks with the guy that Randy Rhoads was standing next to and laying tracks with. So yeah, it was like, okay, there's, I'm not going to impress this guy.
Right.
There's nothing I can do.
You've seen it all.
I can go, oh wow.
Yeah. Right.
But it was a fantastic and a fantastic experience, one that I'll always remember. And then he did another Dirty Looks record later on called Five Easy Pieces as well. So I always enjoyed working with him and just getting the vibe from his work ethic, which is crazy.
Okay. You get a video for Oh Ruby. The album goes to number 124. I have the album flat up there. I love this record. Like when I started this channel 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about the bands that I never feel got their just due, and Dirty Looks has always been one of them. Anyway, did you guys feel like Atlantic got behind Cool from the Wire? Did you feel like after it, you were done with it, like, yes, we're on the right track?
Yeah. I mean, when you're in that situation, you don't have a sense of, oh, they're getting behind this other band more than us.
Okay.
Though that said, first couple shows of our first tour, the opening band was Skid Row.
Yeah.
And
before they had an album out.
Yeah, before they had gone to record it.
Yeah.
So, hanging out with the guys and, ended up, saying, hey guys, good luck with that recording and hope it goes well. And,
Did you get a sense that, oh shit, it's going to happen for those guys?
In that when the Atlantic reps were all huddled around Sebastian Bach like flies.
Yeah.
And, and not so much us.
Sure.
So I could tell that they were, they were talking with what they considered to be their meal ticket.
Yeah.
Which in many ways was correct.
Yeah, sure.
So they could tell that, and yeah. So, but I thought they did a good job, and we got to do a lot of stuff.
Okay. Did you play some shows with Kiss?
Yeah.
On the Cool from the Wire tour?
Yeah.
Where, or how did you end up getting that gig?
Well, I think it was, the first one was like a last minute sort of thing.
Okay.
And that was a July 4th concert, and it was an outdoor concert in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And we didn't know about that till the night before, and we were playing at L'Amour's.
Mm-hmm. And
L'Amour's in Brooklyn, where you don't go on until like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? Yeah. So it's like you don't get out till like 5 in the morning, and so so for that particular show, none of us had slept in a couple days.
Yeah.
Uh, but it was still really exciting, and like having Gene Simmons come up and introduce himself to me was a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was real cool, and they stood there and saw us play, and invited us to play a couple more shows with them in New York City, in their hometown at the Ritz, which was just amazing nights.
Sure.
The second one more so than the first one. The first one, the audience didn't want to know who Dirty Looks was, because they only wanted to see Kiss.
Sure.
And so they had shown the Kiss movie right before we went on, and then it's like everybody's all psyched up to see Kiss, and then here's this other, and they didn't want to know about that. But we did. After a few songs, I feel like we won them over.
Yeah. After Cool from the Wire, like, do you guys feel like we're on the right track? The album didn't blow up, but you got some MTV play. People love that album. Do you feel good going into Turn of the Screw? Or are you like, geez, I thought that first album should have done better? I mean, what's the mood of the band?
No, but there was a lot of optimism for Turn of the Screw.
Okay.
And like I was hearing from a lot of people, that they were saying, "Oh yeah, this one's." Everybody's saying this one's going to blow up,
Okay.
So and we went from like riding around the country in a van to riding around the country in a bus. So that was nice.
That's a big move.
Yeah,
that is. You start recording Turn of the Screw with Beau Hill, who did all the Rat albums. He did Warrant Winger. He did all these platinum albums. But you end up switching producers to John Jansen. What happened?
They just felt like John Jansen was going to be a better fit for whatever reason. So
the label.
I would have to say Henrik.
Henrik. Okay. So how long was shit? I don't know if I'm freezing up there. How long was Beau Hill on the project before the change was made?
I would say not long.
Okay.
Not long. And then and then things with John Jansen, we moved everything to New Jersey.
Okay.
In Orange, New Jersey, and so things went real well with John Jansen.
He had done stuff
more stripped down sort of approach to things, and if you listen to Turn of the Screw, it definitely sounds more stripped down, production wise, raw.
He had worked with Alice Cooper. He had done shit with Jimi Hendrix.
He had quite a track record himself.
Yeah. Okay, you get done with Turn of the Screw, comes out in 89. That's a quick turnaround to have albums out in consecutive years, 88 and 89.
Yeah.
Get a video for Nobody Rides for Free.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do for touring for Turn of the Screw?
We did the same as for the first album, but on a larger scale.
Okay.
So we were doing larger venues and doing a little bit more of opening for other acts, though not very much.
Okay.
Primarily headlining, but bigger and bigger places. So the little clubs became like the bigger clubs and theaters and things like that.
Were you? Did you want to get on big tours? And I ask this because I've interviewed a ton of people, and there's some people who say, "Hey, no, you go out and you play the clubs, you headline, and you play your show, and that's how you build. That's how you break a band." And then other people are like, no, get your ass on as an opening act on a big tour. So were you trying to get on the big tours, or was that an intentional plan by you guys and the label?
No, no. I mean, we were certainly shooting for the stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were certainly, yeah, we were into getting it as big as it could be.
Right. Right. But there was just no offers, or did you feel like, I mean, was your management trying to push that, or what happened, I guess?
Uh, yeah, I would have to say I'm not sure.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Um,
We
okay.
did have the same management for the Turn of the Screw album as AC/DC.
That's right. Okay.
So we had high-powered management.
It's too bad you couldn't have gotten on like the blow up your video to, I don't know exactly when they were touring, but like an
Yeah,
AC/DC tour would have just been.
yeah. There's quite a bit that has been said about all that, but yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, I thought everything was good. Everybody else thinks, oh, it should have been way bigger.
Yeah, and I'm one of those. So when I'm prying for this, I just want to like, like I want to find the reason why, because I feel like, and I'm not just saying this, like you guys were one of the best bands of that era. Anyway, Turn of the Screw comes out and does better than Cool from the Wire. You guys start to record the follow up, correct?
Yeah, in well, then we did Five Easy Pieces.
Right. But not for Atlantic, correct?
Not for Atlantic, no.
Okay. So when did it end with Atlantic? Like when
At
did
the
you
same
find
time
out?
as it ended with all the other hard rock bands on all of the labels. There was like probably a period of about 3 months
Yeah.
in which all the labels cleaned house, and that's when grunge just,
Yeah.
absolutely took over. And if you played, you know, hard rock, hair metal, whatever you want to call it, then you were categorically dropped.
Yeah.
And so we had studio time booked to do the third album on Atlantic.
Yeah.
We had studio time booked in the same studio as Skid Row did their first record,
Okay.
and
In
we were
Wisconsin?
in pre-production when we got that word.
Okay. So when you get the word, okay, Atlantic's out, are you guys like, well, fuck this? When, pardon my language, I tend to swear a little bit. I was in the military for a long time. Were you like, I don't care, fuck, we're going on, we're going forward, or was there any like, shit, maybe that's it?
No, there was no maybe that's it.
Okay.
There was we at that point relocated from California back to Pennsylvania
Okay.
because up to that point we were getting like living wages from Atlantic Records
Yep.
to keep us going, So I was paying for my apartment in LA and all that,
Okay.
and living on what we called Atlantic welfare.
Yep.
Uh,
Um,
so
the demos that you started to record for Atlantic end up getting put out as bootlegs, correct?
yeah.
1991?
Yeah, and that was sort of a stopgap kind of thing. Like, okay, now what do we do? Kind of thing, and they were cool songs,
Yeah.
and they didn't sound bad.
Yeah.
And then David Krebs, who used to manage and was responsible for Aerosmith and was responsible for Ted Nugent and was responsible for AC/DC.
Yeah.
That David Krebs took an interest in the band and that's whose label, Sony Rock World, that we recorded the 5 Easy Pieces album.
Yep. Okay, so 5 Easy Pieces comes out in 1992. What did you think when you started seeing Nirvana and Alice in Chains? You know, were you like, oh shit, we can fit in with this? Or what, you know, what was your opinion when the grunge wave started to happen?
I think it took me a little while to see the writing on the wall.
Okay.
In retrospect, you know, you can see it plain as day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it's right here in front of your face like that, you don't see it. You're just like, we're doing our thing, they're doing their thing. It's cool, you know, and you know, I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, I can, for some of these bands, I can kind of see it, you know. And it's certainly different, and but I do remember the first time seeing the name Nirvana, which was at a record store where it said Nirvana album on sale here, and I was like, "What's a Nirvana?" So
right.
That was my first inclination, but I didn't say, uh-oh, we better change what we're doing because there's this new kind of music, and we got to fit in with that. There was none of that.
Right.
However, there was us being on tour trying to support the 5 Easy Pieces album, and this time playing smaller and smaller and smaller clubs as we were going around the country back in a van.
Right.
And by this point, it was just Henrik and I, and then sort of a revolving door of drummers and bass players.
And 5 Easy Pieces, you got Max Norman back to produce it, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And consequently, that album sounds great, and a lot of people really love that album. I don't know why it's not on streaming like Spotify or anything.
Okay.
But it just, you know, it fell through the cracks. Nobody uploaded it, and I don't know like how we would make that happen. But I think people would really enjoy hearing it if it was on there. I don't think it was anything intentional of its omission. I think just, you know, Sony Rock World, if that label is even around still, just never got around to doing that.
You got a video for 5 Easy Pieces. I love that album. I love everything that band did. But you know, the times are changing. Pretty much anybody.
Oh yeah. I mean,
with the old days was
looking back, there was no winning.
Yeah,
there was absolutely no way to win. And then going forward a little bit into Dangerous Toys. So the band folded at the end of '93.
Yep.
You know, we had Henrik was just like, need to call it a day. And
go ahead.
So at that point, I joined Dangerous Toys, which had been a plan for a while anyway.
Yeah.
So we recorded the Pissed album, and this was '94, and the Pissed album was still it was like a little heavier than earlier Dangerous Toys, a little more aggressive and all that, but still not anything considered grungy.
No.
And then, but by the time you got to 1996, now this is in the middle of everything that was, if you weren't from Seattle, it wasn't really happening. And we
here's Charlie. You're so naughty. Okay, sorry, she's been hounding me. Go out. Okay.
So we recorded it, and our taste of music had also changed, and so we recorded an album that we jokingly referred to as the artist formerly known as Dangerous Toys because it was so different from previous stuff, and we all thought it was great, and
Definitely different.
but way different from So anybody that liked or expected something like the first album didn't really get it, and but at the same time, if we were put out something that was like the first album, that would have been suicide as well. So there was no winning in 1996.
And I heard you say that there was even talks of changing the name, but if you do that, then you got to start all over again and build it again. So I mean,
so this was the plight. This was the plight that every quote unquote hair metal band, for lack of a better term, was going through in 1996.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't win for losing. Well, what do we do?
Right.
But Dangerous Toys was out on tour and touring that album, and I remember seeing like the videos of that form of the band playing the songs from artists, and it was real heavy.
Yeah.
And pretty cool. So I'm proud of that era, even though it wasn't like the most popular.
Sure. I wanted to bring this up because I watched a bunch of interviews that you did. You said when Dirty Looks broke up in '93 that Henrik wrote you a letter and said it was time to call it a day. And you mentioned this. You said Henrik said he needed to dry out. And Henrik was obvious, known for partying. Was it, and I'm not asking you to, I just think people want to know the history. Was it an issue in the Dirty Looks years, the alcohol for anybody, or was it like, hey, we kind of had it under control back then?
I could not say that we had it under control back then. I would say that that was, and not just for Henrik. I mean, but yeah, it was. It's easy to get things. It's easy to get out of hand with things, especially when you're like always on the road, especially in a smaller scale. Sure. So that type of touring is, in retrospect, difficult.
Yeah.
At the time, it's like, this is. But looking back on it, riding around in a van, for months on end, challenging.
Was it an issue? Like, did the labels ever address it, or was it just kind of something that was a band thing? I'm just, everybody, Henrik passed away in 2011, and so I don't think there's a ton of information out there about what happened with him. Was it something that you guys ever had to talk about? Like, hey man, we gotta tighten up the ship, or, in those years with Dirty Looks?
No, I don't think anybody probably, like, I didn't feel like I was in the position to tell him, hey man,
Okay.
Though I think I may have at some point.
Sure.
So he, after 90, in the beginning of 94, and I left and didn't actually see him before I left. Like I said, this is a letter, and he had disappeared. And then Dangerous Toys and the reformed Dirty Looks, which was Henrik and this band Child's Play, were on a festival together. And so Henrik and I got to spend that whole day like together
Okay.
and hanging out, and that was really fun
Okay.
and cool. And that was the last time I saw him in person.
Okay. What do you know?
After
What
that,
year was that?
94.
Okay. That was the last time you saw him. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to do with the Rumble Dog albums?
Uh,
I think 93 and 95, these two albums come out, and it was like, hey, associated with Dirty Looks, but
yeah. I think I should know more about that.
that's okay.
But I think at least the first one was like sort of at one point during the oh my gosh, what do we do now times. Henrik and I would go into the studio with different session drummers and bass players and just crank out songs.
Okay.
And I think some of that ended up on the Rumble Dog stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
I mean, in what I looked at, it looks like you were credited with playing some guitar on those. I didn't know how much. And I don't think you guys really went out and played shows as Rumble Dog.
No, I think that was another one of those stopgap things where it's like, well, we can't do anything else with Dirty Looks because at the time we had recorded the 5 Easy Pieces album, but it wasn't getting released.
Right.
And the label was just sort of sitting on it. Maybe waiting to see if, it was even worth in the climate, worth releasing. And this is me just looking back on things going, I wonder if that's what was going on. But so they finally released it. And then we did a tour for that 5 Easy Pieces album. And like even Gene Barnett came back and played on that tour. And it was my favorite Dirty Looks tour because the whole vibe of it was just fun and relaxed.
Okay.
Whereas previous Dirty Looks tours, the vibe was not fun nor relaxed.
Okay. What do you attribute that to? Like, why were previous tours not fun and relaxed, but this one was?
Previous tours, I felt like Henrik was sort of perpetually unhappy.
Okay.
And if he was unhappy, that sort of would spread itself out into the rest of the camp.
Sure. And do you think that was and again, I mean, feel free to pass on it. I'm not trying to get like into blabbermouth. I'm just interested in this band. Was he unhappy because of the success of Dirty Looks, or was it personal, or why do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
And maybe you don't want to guess as to what it was. I just didn't know if he was like, why is Dirty Looks not?
It could have been any of a million things.
Okay.
But
sure.
Yeah. There's I can tell you, being the leader of a band, there's a lot of pressure on you.
Totally.
So there was certainly a lot of pressure on him, and he felt like, I think he felt like this should be blowing up.
Okay. Yeah. And we talked about you joined Dangerous Toys. You do the Pissed album. You do the artist formerly known as Dangerous Toys. I read in an interview, and I'd heard that you did a solo EP, and you kind of gave that, and where you did all the instruments, you did all the vocals. And I heard you say that EP is what you think kind of made Dangerous Toys go, hey, maybe we should get. What happened with this EP?
Nothing. It was never released. It was recorded at Jack Pyre's house.
Yeah.
And this was after Jack had left Dirty Looks. But, we've always stayed in touch.
Yep.
And so he invited me to come to his studio, and yeah, that so it's a 5-song EP, and yeah, I played all the things on it, and it is pretty cool. It was like the only record of it now is a cassette.
Okay.
But I just had it converted to a WAV file.
Okay.
So yeah, so now it's something that I could actually share if necessary. And that was 1991.
Okay.
And yeah, and I had sent that to in 91. I sent that to Jason and guys from Toys. So when their guitar player Danny left the band, Danny was real strong singer and guitarist. So here was this EP of with me doing vocals, and they like that, and the guitar playing, and they're like, okay, yeah, we should probably get that guy.
Right.
Which didn't happen again for till 3 years from that.
Yeah. Right.
But as I said before, but it was in the works for quite some time.
Okay. Okay. I interviewed Jason McMaster probably a couple months ago, and they have that Talk Louder podcast. I mean, he's doing all this, but Jason McMaster, when you see him on stage, and versus when he's in like an interview he sounds so professional, and you'd think he'd be this rock and roll wild man. Anyway, I don't know if you ever like notice, like, he just seems so different when you're talking to him versus what you might perceive him to be. Anyway.
Yeah, he's he doesn't have any kind of ego or any kind of airs about him, like, at all, and never has.
And I mean that kind of as a compliment. Like, he just sounds like this well-spoken, smart guy, and not like this rock and roll wild man. Anyway,
he's super smart, and an encyclopedia of not just rock but music in general. Like, he knows. Yeah, you could ask Google or you could ask Jason, and it'd be like the same.
Okay. So you go out on tour for the artist formerly known. You're on tour and the label folds. Like, do you remember that happening?
I do remember that happening.
So what did you just leave and go, or what happened when you found that out?
Yeah, I think we were in North Carolina, and it was like, the road manager's like, hey guys, just got a phone call, and so we're going home.
Okay.
Because the label was supporting the tour, and with that, in that era, for a band to like us, it was not sustainable to stay on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, in that environment. So it was just that timing, and there was nothing anybody could do.
Sure. When you get home from that, like, what's your next move? Because that's really, Dangerous Toys wasn't putting out albums. They weren't, and I know you did Broken Teeth with Jason.
As like a for fun, almost, Broken Teeth was a very not serious thing, because at the time, this was again in, I guess this would be 99 by now, 98, 99.
Yep.
So you're in like, grunge has just been like the thing that seemed like it was going to just be forever. And then you had the post-grunge thing, you know, where all the songs on the radio all sounded like Smells Like Teen Spirit rewritten over and over and over again.
I was gonna say they all sounded like shit, but that's just me. Anyway, no, go ahead.
Oh, so here we come with this, you know, sort of Dirty Looks-ish, AC/DC-ish,
Yeah.
kind of punk rocky, not taking it seriously album. You know, we made up names for people that were playing on it, and you know, we're just basically having fun. It was not a serious thing at all.
Right.
Nor was it intended to be played live.
Right. Okay.
Like none of the songs, because Jason had his band at the time called Godzilla Motor Company that was blowing up.
Yeah. And
I had my stuff going on, and so I would have to say that Tom Mathers from Perris Records suggested that that I write some songs in that style,
yeah,
because he had a market for that overseas. And then he said in return for that, I was fronting a band at the time, and he said in return for that, the band that you're fronting can do an album on my dime in my studio. And you know, and I was like, sure, that's easy, you know, knock that out in no time. And both albums were knocked out real quick.
Who was the band that you were fronting at that time?
It's called 20 Pound Buzz.
Okay, I think I briefly saw. Did you get, like, how long did that go on, and did you guys record anything?
Yeah, we have a full length album.
Oh, shit, no, that I don't know that. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, not many people know of it, and there's even a YouTube on YouTube. There's sort of a live in the studio show.
Okay.
That ended up being the band's last performance as that 20 Pound Buzz.
Okay. All right. So you do a couple albums with Broken Teeth. You're still doing Dangerous Toys. I mean, they're probably not active, but you were still playing some shows back in those late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever taken a complete hiatus. We always do a handful of shows every year.
Yep.
We usually play in Austin once a year, and then we will play, you know, a handful of shows. Some years are busier than others. Like last year and the year before were considerably busier for us. Probably playing, you know, close to a dozen shows or something, and you know, flying all over the place. But the band's always been kind of active.
Right. You were never not an entity. Dangerous Toys has always still existed. And I'm going to get to it, but I think you guys are going to be releasing an album next year.
Yes. Yeah. In 2026. And it's going to be real cool.
Phenomenal. So I'm going to, in 2007, and I bought all this stuff. I bought Broken Teeth. I bought Adrenaline Factor. I was buying anytime Perris Records was like, hey, something associated with Dirty Looks or something that's influenced by AC/DC.
Well, I appreciate all that. Yeah.
In those years, you just were not, you know, people like me were going, hey, we want our sleaze rock, hard rock fix. So Adrenaline Factor, you put out an album with Adrenaline Factor. You didn't sing. You got a single for Ride, and any album that has song titles like 7-Year Bitch and Boozin' Susan probably deserves your attention. So tell me about Adrenaline Factor.
Okay, Adrenaline Factor was a band that I started after Broken Teeth, and Broken Teeth, they were like my best friends, and I really didn't want to leave the band, but I was forced to. or I was forced to make that decision.
Okay.
Um,
Can you go into why, or?
it's kind of a long story, but so anyway, I've then, but I had, I'm always writing songs,
Of course.
and so I had these songs, and there was a singer in a local AC/DC tribute band, and who had a lot of charisma, and so I thought, well, wonder what he would sound like singing original songs. He had never done it before,
Okay.
and so we got that together, and then we recorded two songs, and one of the two songs caught fire on local radio.
Okay.
Like, it was being played like every single day, multiple times a day, and was the number one song for quite some time.
Yeah.
So everybody in Austin had heard that song "Ride."
Yeah.
So we're like, oh damn. So in a very short period of time, we wrote and recorded the Adrenaline Factor album, and got it out. And when it was released, was right when that song "Ride" was peaking. And so Adrenaline Factor, in a local sense, was real successful.
Yeah.
For a short period of time.
And I it's a great album. I have the CD. What led to you just going, okay, it's just a one-shot deal? I realize I'm trying to pull a lot of information out of you, so I appreciate.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, and I guess we'll just come down to say, like, yeah, I wasn't feeling that particular thing
Okay.
any longer.
Okay, sure. All right. In 2007 and 2008, Dirty Looks put out albums, Gasoline and Super Deluxe. I think Super Deluxe is fantastic. And you played remotely on those, right? Like you weren't in, but I think you played on those two albums, correct?
Gasoline, Henrik called and he asked me to write a couple songs for it, which I did. And one was called "Trick of the Light," I think, and then one had a different title, but he retitled it "New White Naked."
Okay.
And those were put on that Gasoline album, and then he asked me to play on the Super Deluxe album after that.
Okay. And there's a song, I think it's on Super Deluxe. "Bring Me Down" is,
That's a good song.
As good as anything on the first two major label Dirty Looks albums. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a catchy hook, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Can I interject about that period?
Please.
Henrik was at that point sober
Okay.
and singing unbelievably. Like, he was just, holy crap. Listen to that voice. So had he been able to stay sober, boy, look out. It would have been amazing.
Was there any talk of rejoining in those years when he got sober and you guys are putting out albums?
You mean like playing shows?
Yeah, like you coming back and reuniting and playing shows.
Yeah, but it never happened.
Okay.
So yeah, the shows that we did in honor of and in remembrance of Henrik, half a dozen shows that Dirty Lick did with Jason singing.
Yep.
That had started, the plan for that reunion thing had started in, I don't know, probably 2010.
Okay.
Or 2009.
Yeah.
But it never came to fruition.
And Henrik passed away in 2011. I mean, do you remember hearing and what?
Yeah, it was awful. But not entirely unexpected. My last phone call with him, I think it was under the premise of, hey, can I use these songs you wrote, but really he said, well, yeah, really, I just wanted to call and say hi, and which he knew he wasn't going to be around much longer. And as a matter of fact, before that, he had called and said that, and this is all kind of hard to talk about, but he had called and said that he was probably not going to be around longer. Okay. And so that was rough.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
A large part of your music history is there. I can't even imagine. Okay, so Dirty Looks reunited, and you put out the album Cool from the Speedway with Jason on vocals. I think a lot of people love that. I wanted to say that
the first live show that we did.
Yeah.
And with one rehearsal, I might add.
Yeah.
We had rehearsed 2 years previous to that in Texas, and then the show was booked in March of 2020. Yeah. And I don't have to tell you that that show didn't happen.
Right, exactly.
So fast forward 2 years, the show is rescheduled, and so we got together once the day before in Pennsylvania, and then played that show. And I wanted to record it because I didn't know whether we were ever going to do it again.
Yeah.
So we recorded it and had some video, and then had it put together to make a pretty cool DVD.
Yeah. And Cool from the Speedway, DVD and CD, that was available. I wanted to bring this up. I played the song Catwalk from Hot Shot 4 times on the radio over the last couple months. I love those 2 songs that you released with Jason on vocals. It sounds like Dangerous Toys mixed with Dirty Looks. So
and that stuff turned out well. And me and Jason and Jack get together on a regular basis and write songs just for fun. Okay. And so those songs turned out great. With David McLean on drums, who is just a monster drummer, plays in Sacred Reich, and then David Beeson on guitar, who also played in the Dirty Looks reunion thing. So
awesome. And we talked about Paul Lidel's Scream Therapy. You can order it from Perris Records. Are You Ready? And I think people need to check out this album. Go listen to the new single that's on YouTube. I'll put it in the description.
We have another one coming October 1st.
Okay. Have you will Dirty Looks with Jason on vocals do anything? Would there be any more shows, or is that something you guys are kind of done with?
I kind of doubt. I mean, you never say never, but I kind of doubt it, because we felt like, we had done that half a dozen shows, and after that it was kind of like, I don't know, it didn't seem like if we kept on going, it would have been less sincere, if that makes any sense.
Sure, sure.
It would have been like, and then certainly if we had, because people were asking, "Oh, are you putting out new Dirty Look stuff?" And it's like, well, you can't. It's not without Henrik. It's not Dirty Look. So,
right. Okay.
But that didn't stop us from writing new music, of course, and that's why it comes out under the name Hot Shot.
Okay. And when do you think new Dangerous Toys album that you were teasing about coming out in 2026? Is there anything you want to say about that, or do you know when we'll hear it?
I don't have any kind of dates as far as releasing or anything, but I just know it. There are several songs done, and they're really cool.
Okay, all right. I know you have done some teaching guitar DVDs. You've written some books, and you do like teach guitar and teach other things. So is that something that you're still doing now, right?
Oh, very much, yeah. Yeah, I teach on Zoom.
Okay.
So I have students all over the country, which is really cool.
Awesome.
So it's not limited to local students.
Sure. And so now that we're kind of wrapping up, like what's the best way for people to reach you if they're interested in doing something like that? Just through your socials or?
Yeah, they can contact me. ScreamTherapyBand.com has a direct contact for me. So that would be a good thing. ScreamTherapyBand.com. Just go to the bottom of the page, and there's a contact information, and I can be reached that way for kind of any reason.
Okay. I will have your social medias, your Facebook pages for Paul Lidel Scream Therapy, and all of that in the description. And I really appreciate your time. You've gone into so much detail. Is there anything that I missed that you would like to, hey, before we go, I'd like to let people know about this?
No, just thank you very much for having me on your show, and thanks to everybody who has listened to anything that I've done over the years, and there's lots more to come.
Okay.
I'm just getting started. So.
Okay. Paul Lidel's Scream Therapy, the Are You Ready album is available from Perris Records. Go check that out. Go see a Scream Therapy show. Paul Lidel, thank you so much for going into your history and giving us so much of your time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Anthony. This was fun.
Okay. All right. I will let you know when this is coming out. I will email you about radio IDs, and I'll get to playing Scream Therapy on my radio show. And but we'll stay in touch.
We appreciate all of your support.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Yep. You too. Bye bye.